my gynecologist calls me, you have a little, well, Freda, it looks like you have a little bit of cancer. And I said to him, define a little bit of cancer, doctor. Can I be a little bit pregnant? No big deal. You know, we just get her in tomorrow morning, we'll cut her breast off, or we can just cut the lump off. But it wasn't a lump. I'm Freda Whalen-Plues, and I'm a survivor of breast cancer. 10 years ago, I had a bilateral mastectomy, had both of my breasts removed, and I had reconstruction. This was quite an undertaking. It was quite a challenge. So much information is written about or talked about women that survived breast cancer, how difficult that was, and absolutely it was difficult. But the journey, my journey, actually began after I recovered from breast cancer. And I've written a book to help other women and other, not just women, because men get breast cancer also, and so this can happen to men as well. But my book is called The Journey, Surviving Breast Cancer and Managing Lymphedema. And this is, I feel, a very important book to help you if you're surviving breast cancer. Because often as the byproduct of breast cancer is lymphedema. And that is not mentioned very, very seldom. In fact, to my knowledge, I have not recalled any interview where the woman is interviewed as a survivor that she mentions that she has lymphedema. And it can happen right away, as in my case. It can even happen 15 years or so down the road of your survival journey. And my journey has been, I feel my challenge has been how to manage my lymphedema. For an example, if you burn yourself, we've all burned ourselves at one time or another, and we all develop a blister. Well, that fluid in the blister is lymphatic fluid. So consider that if the lymph nodes are removed, the lymph fluid does not flow normally through your arm. In my case, my arm was swelling. It was causing a lot of pain. And I think in 1 week I gained 13 pounds. So I knew something was drastically wrong with me. As far as my career, I'm a deep tissue medical massage therapist. I have been a licensed therapist for the past 25 years. I did not want to throw my career away, and that was difficult because how was I going to continue with my arm swelling, with the pain? And of course, as we know, massage is manual. It's all upper body work. So the first thing I had to do was to learn how to handle it. And this was through physical therapy, handling with therapists that know how to deal with lymphedema, how to help me through as far as the manual flush, that's very important, and I speak about this in the book, about the different modalities that you can use to help yourself to cope with this problem and to be all that you can be. And the most important thing is that we cannot give up, because you have the temptation to just lay down and give it up. But it is not in my nature to do this. And this is why the book, I feel, is so important for any of you suffering after the fact with lymphedema, after you have been through the recovery, is how do you live your life to your full potential without the limitations. My book, The Journey, offers information from the physicians that have treated me, such as the oncologist, my plastic surgeon, the doctor that treats me for my lymphedema. All of these physicians have written chapters in the book on how to deal with the problem, and what to expect. Another thing that is never mentioned when an interviewer interviews you when you're a breast cancer survivor is how breast cancer affects the marriage, because it is going to affect your relationship with your spouse. It affects your relationship and your opinion of yourself as a woman. So how can it not affect your relationship with your husband? One important point I'd like to make is that your major medical insurance will help you to pay for the expense of the lymphatic pump. Also, the compression sleeves are also covered in many cases. As far as Medicare and are involved, I list a chapter in the book about the steps that you need to cover with your physician as to the documentation that needs to be presented to your insurance company so that your insurance will, or even Medicare, will pay for a compression sleeve. So these compression sleeves, compression pumps, these are most covered with your insurance with a doctor's prescription and a letter of necessity and the proper documentation. You need to know the best place to position your arm. This is covered in the book. I talk about a stopped-up drain scenario. If you have a stopped-up drain in your sink, you obviously wouldn't continue to pour water from the faucet into the drain because, of course, where would the water go? But up, and it would flood your kitchen. So the same situation applies when you have lymph nodes removed under your arm. If the lymphatic flow has been interrupted and you hold your arm up all of the time, where's the lymphatic fluid going to go? It's going to build up under the arm and at the elbow, those primary two places, also down your side. So the key is that you need to, in my opinion, in Dr. Maus's opinion, the doctor that wrote the information about lymphedema, you do need to elevate your arm, but it's more realistic to hold it at just a little above the heart. And prop it up with pillows. At night, I put a little pillow under my arm, and not a thick one, but a small pillow to hold my arm away from my body. This helps it to support me. It also helps with the circulation. And so these are important little factors that make a big difference in how you're going to be able to manage your lymphedema. I wanted to give you an example today of one of the actual pumps that we use. This one is a Tally 5. They make a Tally 10, which this is a very good, durable pump. I want to go ahead and inflate this so you'll have an idea. This is the arm sleeve, what you would use. And it's an actual continuous massage for the tissues. And it starts at the hand, and each pump or each tube will inflate, and it goes up the arm, and then as it fills up on the very top, it'll suddenly release, and it all starts again. So it's a continuous motion that tightens, and as you can see, this is pretty tight. And it holds it for a few seconds, and then it'll move on up.